we've got to re-evaluate counterterrorism at the United Nations. That's not to say that the UN should not be involved in counterterrorism, but rather that it must make sure that its efforts are making a positive impact, are doing no harm, and are fitting with its founding charter. So what can be done? In 2021, there will be negotiations between all 193 member states on the UN's global counterterrorism strategy. To diplomats that actually want to protect multilateralism and to ward off some of the threats that we've spoken about in Saferworld's fourth pillar publication, they have a number of important things that they can do. Number one, mandate a regular learning exercise for all UN funds, agencies and programs to really assess the impact of counterterrorism and PVE programming. This needs to promote a culture of learning and evaluation within the whole counterterrorism architecture. Number two, we think you need to take steps to end the extraordinary budgetary practices of UN counterterrorism work. No other office in the UN political affairs domain has funding outside the central budget above 50%. For counterterrorism, it's 96%. And this is all really from two member states, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. This has an impact on oversight, on coordination, and can really skew priorities for the UN system. UN leadership has some work to do too. We think over the next year there could be some real great progress to protect the UN institution. Here's three quick ideas. Number one, undertake a system review of all terminology related to counterterrorism and preventing violent extremism programming. Make sure that this is conflict sensitive and protects the UN's role to be impartial. Number two, make sure that all counterterrorism programming in country is going directly through the UN Resident Coordinator's office. Make sure that this is following human rights due diligence policies, and make sure that this has a rigorous conflict sensitivity approach embedded within it. And the third thing that needs to happen is accountability really needs to be strengthened. One idea we've suggested is to create an internal firewall that provides the organisation with a way of making sure that counterterrorism work doesn't impede efforts to deliver humanitarian aid, to mediate conflicts, to implement the youth peace and security or the women peace and security agenda. Is this possible? Well, as we reflect 20 years on from the terrible events of 9/11, we do have the opportunity to reflect on whether the counterterrorism strategies and approaches have made the world safer. We think in the fourth pillar we showed that the UN's embrace of counterterrorism will not actually help the institution deliver its goals. We think that UN leadership and UN member states really need to refocus their energy on the three pillars that make the UN system and not allow a fourth pillar to rise unchecked. We don't think that's going to make the world safer.